These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another edition of How About Them Celtics Talkin C's with Bobby Krivitsky. Sam is not with us, but we are here. Bobby, how you doing?
Doing fantastic. Ready for the second half of the Celtics doubleheader. How's everything on your end, Jack?
We're good. We're back to good enough health where we're at the game again, so I'm feeling great. I'm ready to rumble. We got Celtics Raptors tonight as we're recording this. Going to do a little bit of a quick hitter because my train decided to be late. But we're here.
That's on brand.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I was expecting with the red line, but Celtics got the Raptors tonight. The question is which version of the Celtics we get. It's looking like there's a chance it could be Derek White and the fellas. Now, Derek White's been playing very well this season, but if by chance the people are listening to this before the Raptors game or during at some point, what are you looking for against the Raps?
Yeah, it's going to be super interesting to see, first off, who's in the lineup, because 5 of their top 6, the Celtics, that being, are on the injury report. Al Horford ruled out, as is tradition, not playing on the second half of a back-to-back. Porzingis is doubtful, so it could be a lot of minutes for Queta and Luke Cornett, who has not cracked the lineup since returning from about a week absence. I believe he missed 6 games because of that left adductor strain. So it's going to be interesting to see what the front court looks like, especially at the pivot. And then you go further down the line, and I wouldn't be surprised, Jack, if Jaylen Brown returns and Jason Tatum is out. Neither one of them like to miss 2 games in a row. So Brown having not played Thursday, I would guess he's in the lineup, both listed as questionable at the moment. Tatum was evasive when asked about what playing yesterday means for his availability tonight. So we'll just have to see what happens.
Yeah, it almost felt like I don't want to say prioritized, but they wanted to win that Pistons game so bad that they were willing to be out a couple guys for this Raptors game. You just don't want to be 28 or you don't want to be the team that has the streak snapped against them. And the Celtics did succeed in that. This Raptors team is weird to me. They feel like they simultaneously should be in the hunt for the 6th seed, but also in line with the Wizards, right? Because they have Scotty, they have Pascal Siakam, they have Trent, they have Schroeder. Like, they have an okay group, but it just so painfully clearly doesn't fit together that it like doesn't work. Like, this is a case of that they are not the means of the sum of their parts or something like that. Like, they have good pieces. It doesn't work. It doesn't translate.
It doesn't. And it's like the Pistons in that sense, where on paper you like the individual players more than the collective fit. And certainly they're not the only 2 examples around the league of it. But the problem is that Michael Grange recently reported the Raptors tried to resume extension talks with Pascal Siakam, and they went nowhere. Teams are not going to pay top dollar for a player on an expiring contract that it's looking increasingly likely the Raptors won't re-sign either. So they kind of have waited too long, and we still don't know if Masai Ujiri, who chose not to sell off and in fact went out and acquired Jakob Poeltl at the last deadline, what he's going to do with Siakam, what he's going to do with OG Anunoby. And look, we don't know what those protections were on the picks getting offered to Toronto last year around this time. But when you hear reports of 3 and in some cases 4 first-round picks for OG Anunoby, it also seems like that was a move they should have made and are probably a year too late. But I do anticipate both, at least one of them, I don't think will be on the Raptors after the trade deadline.
You would have to assume, because otherwise it's kind of malfeasance. Is that the word? Like, it's
malpractice.
It's not,
I bet both words.
Not good business is the point. If the Celtics do end up the Raptors end up keeping both of them on the roster, this is the team the Celtics are capable of beating, regardless of who's on the floor. I'd trust Peyton Pritchard and Sam Hauser to take down this Raptors team. That said, I probably would have said the same against the Pistons, who did end up taking the Celtics to overtime. Sam and I discussed this game at length already. If you want our full recap, you can check it out on the How About the Celtics channel. But, Bobby, what were some of the biggest takeaways from that OT squeak-out win over the Pistons?
So Joe Mazzulla said that he was stressing in shoot-around. He anticipates the Pistons game to be one of their most difficult of the season. 10-day stay for the Celtics on the opposite side of the country. A Pistons team that no one's really watching. They just know about this record losing streak, but most of their games are close and they play hard. It's just a matter, like we talked about not too long ago, the pieces don't fit well together. They don't have enough shooting. They're not particularly good defensively. And right now, my boy Beef Stew, Isaiah Stewart, is out. And so what happens is the Pistons come in, and I was watching Cade Cunningham go through his warmups. He was dialed in. He was a man possessed, and he came out and he was cooking the Celtics to start the game. He had 22 points in the first half, but then they made some adjustments. They slowed him down. He only had 9 in the second half in overtime. And so the Celtics, they were stiff, they were sluggish, they were out of rhythm. They couldn't stop turning the ball over in the first half. 8 giveaways in the second quarter. But then in the second half, they were able to loosen up and play with more pace and ultimately prevail against a Pistons team that threw everything that they could handle at the Celtics, including consistently extending possessions to give them multiple chances to score. But finally, the Celtics were able to cut that off too and ultimately put the finishing touches on a win in overtime.
Yeah, it was not the comfortable win I think TD Garden was hoping for when they bought their tickets that night. A buddy of mine was looking to get tickets to the Pistons game, and he was very upset because it was let's just say it wasn't the cheapest game that was on the market for the Celtics season.
So he got his money's worth. That's what I would say.
Well, he didn't end up going because it was that expensive. He was like, he bailed out. I don't know. I thought it was a good win with the way they responded. That's the way I always look at it. Like, I don't mind even when they go up 10 then blow the lead. Sam gets really upset when they blow double-digit leads. Double-digit lead is like 3 threes in a row. Like, it's nothing in the NBA. And so I'm more interested in how they respond to those runs by the other teams, and they responded very well to the Pistons. Felt like they came out flat, then they turned up the energy when it mattered most. And they just... It was like the X button on the Xbox, like spamming Porzingis post-ups. It was just boom, 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 go, post them up. And the Pistons were just lost. They had no answer for it. And, I mean, not many teams do when you got a 7-3 Latvian guy going right at you in the post every time.
Punishing switches.
He's been so good.
There's nothing they could do.
Yeah. Porzingis has been phenomenal in those spots all season. He deserves a ton of credit for that.
And, Jack, you brought up the second unit for Friday's game against the Raptors. They gave the Celtics a needed lift in the first half against Detroit, where Joe Mazzulla quickly started to lean on those guys. And he's throwing Kata, Hauser, Pritchard, all these different options out there. And that little bit of a jolt that they gave, including it was something like a 10-2 run late in the first quarter, that helped keep it, 19 is a pretty big gap, but it could have been worse if he just rode the first unit into the ground and they didn't have it and were playing the way they looked in the opening 24 minutes.
Definitely. I think the Celtics, including Joe and everybody else, get a ton of credit for the way they responded. It's weird to call it a big win, but it does feel like the way they responded was growth from where they were last year. Like, I think that game was turning into the OKC Thunder game last year where they were just getting beat up by a team that didn't deserve to beat them. And then they flipped it on its head and they said, "No, we're not going to do that today. We're going to come out and we're going to come to play a little bit more." Last thing we can talk about, we'll do this a quick hitter, maybe keep it around 10 minutes because we do have Joe's pregame press conference. We can spend a little bit on this, though. Victor Wembanyama is playing the Celtics for the first time in his NBA career after this Raptors-Celtics game, playing on New Year's Eve. What are you looking for? What have you seen from Victor? How do you contain him? I know the Spurs aren't good as a team, but when you play a guy like that, it's always fun to look at and see what you can do.
It is. He's a freak, and you can see the talent and potential. Hopefully Porzingis is available so we can get 2 unicorns going head-to-head, kind of the old guard against the new, and that'll be fascinating. It's been such a disservice to Wembanyama's development, that there's not more of a traditional starting point guard there. We both love Trey Jones, and I'm glad that he's getting more minutes all of a sudden. But having Sohan when he was in that role, it was, again, it wasn't doing right by your star rookie. And so when it comes to containing Wembanyama, it's a lot of it can be done with an individual defender when you have someone of Porzingis' size or Al Horford's, just combination of everything, including his high basketball IQ. So I almost wonder if the Celtics will rely on whatever center or centers they have available to try and slow him down, knowing that Wembanyama also is not much of a threat from beyond the arc.
For sure. I mean, Wemby does shoot threes. Joel Embiid recently said, like, he's going to decide whether he wants to be me or KD. I thought that was a little lame. I think Wemby's going to be Wemby, and you shouldn't, like, say you have to decide what you want to be. He's a freak, though. He does everything on the court. The Spurs just haven't been, to put it frankly, a good basketball team. They've been pretty bad, and it's not hard to see why. They don't have the talent. to be a good team, right? Like they don't have a point guard, like you said. They don't have veterans on the roster really. They have Doug McDermott and Chetty Osman, but not like the Rockets have veterans. So they're a year away. I expected them to be a little bit better than they are now, but with the experiment at point guard and all that stuff, it's just, I guess it wasn't in the cards.
I thought they should have been more aggressive over the summer.
With all the cap space. Yeah, I agree. All the cap space they got, maybe make a little bit more. But do you expect them to do anything this summer? It's gonna be the last thing we do before we get on down to Joe. But
I think they need to be more aggressive this summer, and maybe there's a deal that they can cook up by the deadline to bring in that type of point guard they feel can accentuate Wembanyama's strengths and kind of expedite his development.
I think it'd be good. I'm excited to see what they do. Any final thoughts, or do you want to wrap it up here so we can get downstairs?
I think we hit on everything.
All righty. Perfect. Thank you all for tuning in to Talkin C's. Make sure to follow Bobby on Twitter at Bobby Krivitsky. Check out his work at Inside the Celtics Sports Illustrated site with SI Media Group. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. You can follow me on Twitter at JacksonMoneyNBA. You can follow Sam, who didn't join us today, on Twitter at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us.
Shout out to the boy. See you.
Taco, come on.
Taco's having some fun here.
That is bogus. These guys are ridiculous.